This is Connor Hopkins, the crown jewel, the pretty hate machine himself, and you are listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
Hey, yo.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Acknowledge me. What it is. Come on, people. Come on in, sit down. It's the holidays. It's time to talk to you boys, the Sit Down Marks. What's going on, everybody? Welcome now. Come on in, sit down. Episode number 178 of the Sit Down Marks podcast. We're glad you're joining us today on YouTube and Facebook. And if you're checking us out on all those audio podcast platforms out there, we really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. What's going on? Want to talk to you guys. But first, let me introduce you to, if you know these boys already, Dylan Primo. What's going on, brothers?
Not a whole lot of just here. It is the final month of the year. We're closing in on 5 years on this podcast.
Crazy to think. Like, really? You know, yeah. I mean, March will be 5 years, man. Can you believe almost?
It's insane.
Yeah, it's
insane.
And Dylan,
Dylan's in shock about it.
He just passed his 1 year mark on the podcast. So
yeah,
you know, I guess some sort of congratulations are in order, I guess, you know, as they say. So there you go. How we feeling, buddy?
No, we're last week it was Dreamwave. We're still feeling it. On that note, I guess thank you guys. Happy 1 year to me. Thank you to both of you for, not kicking me off when my internet kicked me out or, nothing like that. Like we survived some road bumps. We're 1 year down. We're vibing and thriving. It's Christmas time. A big Merry Christmas to all the Marks out there. Had to break out the Christmas sweater for the occasion. And, we got a lot to talk about, boys.
Yeah. I mean, in podcasting, you always think you come a long way, right? We've come a long way with Dylan since his connection's better. He's got a new laptop, you know what I mean? Microphone, so what was the old saying we used to talk about, Primo? Would say you're not a podcaster until you did
that's right.
So many episodes
you had to do so many episodes, you had to go through so many technical difficulties.
Yeah. God knows we've been through them. So yeah, and we're still here, baby, still cranking them out almost 5 years later. So get ready in March, man, because we're going to have a big party on the podcast for the big 5 years.
It's really crazy to think about. We've had a podcast for 5 years.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. All right, boys, if you're ready, man, lots to talk about in the world of wrestling, man. Let's get into it, Primo, if you're ready, man. It's hot start time. 5 topics in the world of pro wrestling. First topic, number 1, boys, the big news, man. I'm excited because I'm going to be able to see, people that I'm a fan of on TNA. They've announced that in January, they're going to be moving to AMC. AMC is a channel I can get. I couldn't get World Destination Travel Channel, whatever they were on last time. I don't know. The Access channel.
Yeah.
I think DirecTV people. Anyway, I'm happy, man.
Food Network Deportes.
Yeah, exactly. We can watch, we can watch Maggie, every Thursday night now. So that's exciting. But just to be able to be on a more visible platform, I think this is going to help. I mean, AMC's no ABC or NBC, you know what I mean? But damn, it's a start because it's on our channel lineup.
It's a premium channel. Unfortunately, I don't get it on YouTube TV. Hello,
right.
But it is a lot more accessible to a lot more people, and I'm sure that I'll be able to still check out plenty of highlights.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. As far as I know, it'll still be on their website. So if you are one of the people that still don't have it, they at least give you a way to watch it. Yeah. It's not like you're just completely cut off. You may have to put in more effort and more money that way, but there's at least wow, boys. Where there's a will, there's a way. Something like that. Yeah. One of those nights. But yeah, like DB was saying, a lot of good talent on there. Get more eyeballs on them. If you're TNA, maybe tighten up that creative.
Yeah.
Get that boot out of your ass a little bit. But hey, you're on TV. I am interested that first episode. I don't have the date in front of me, but that first episode on a Thursday, they have a pay-per-view on that like Saturday. So their
17th, I
first
think.
show is like a go-home show. Like I'm interested how they work in
Introduce
that. Like,
fans,
hey, like, hey, we're on big time TV, and you got to pay $40 to watch this on Saturday, so we can't give away everything tonight. Like how they balance that. Like that'd be interesting. But overall, I'm very happy about it. Excited. It's good for them.
And hey, I mean, all else fails, you can go and watch the 24-hour channel on Pluto TV.
Yeah, this is true. I don't think Maggie's been in the business long enough or been in TNA long enough. To
Yeah,
be
that's
on
the
Pluto
nostalgia channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I tell you what, like I used to have an uncanny knack of turning on the Pluto channel, at work or just random, click on to see what, and it was always that, or not always, but a good 60-70% of the time I would hit the match. They would be showing where Jeff Hardy's all messed up wrestling.
Right.
What's his name?
Like
Yeah, it was
Abyss
just like
or somebody.
Yeah. I was just like, God, man, like y'all showing that one? Like there's so much other.
Like out of your whole library. That's what
Right,
you're using
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about that? That's Victory Road against Sting. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that's
That
the
one? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, boys. Topic number 2, man. I want to talk a little WWE Hall of Fame, right, real quick. So confirmed, we got Stephanie, right? Past that, anybody confirmed? Rumors, right? Just rumors. Batista being one, correct? Cena, Cena's being thrown out there, but Stephanie's the only one.
Right.
As
far as I know.
As far as we know.
Right. I want to throw like a couple out there and see what you guys think. Okay.
Yeah.
3 that totally makes sense to me. And I was just thinking about this the other day. First of all, a nostalgia one. How about Ken Shamrock? Because
I love that pick.
Yeah, because now we're TKO UFC affiliated. You know what I mean? Like it kind of makes sense. It can make sense now. I think he did enough to get in. You know what I mean? Like, he wrestled during most popular era.
Can we get
of
Tito
wrestling.
Ortiz to induct him?
Yeah. That'd be
Then
wild.
fight right there on stage.
Yeah, right.
And Tito probably would.
Right.
Right.
My second one out of 3, and y'all can throw the in if you want to after I finish, but how about Bray Wyatt right now?
Yeah, I actually was thinking about that.
Yeah, Bray would be a good one. Let's just do it right now. He's still kind of fresh on our minds. The Wyatts are still on TV. So I'm still thinking about, like his character and, with that and stuff. So, I kind of think that would make sense. But the third one, this one, I think makes a whole lot of sense. How about Mickey, man? The crossover with TNA, the good relationship they have now, with each other. There's no holding back or anything,
Right.
So she's basically not wrestling, so why not?
Yeah.
How about those 3? Y'all got any thinks?
Yeah,
I do think it'd be cool if Cena and Batista went in together, though.
I think that Bray Wyatt's a good pick, obviously. I thinking legends wise, there's so many, but I was thinking of like what I really like right now is how we have Ray actively still competing, and he's a Hall of Famer, and he got his flowers already.
Right.
And somebody else who's not so much competing, but he's in the WWE right now, and that's William Regal. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be all right with him going in and placing any of those 3.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that pick. I like Regal.
Yeah. With Bray, it's kind of unfortunate to say, but you guys know what I mean. Like you can put him in at any time.
True.
So
that's true.
you can this year, or if you have to wait, he definitely deserves to be in, no doubt. Not going to argue that, in the slightest. I'd be really interested to see if they put Mickey in right after TNA put her in theirs. Like, I wonder if that would be any discussion point on their end. Like, are we copycatting what TNA just did or anything like that? But the couple names I'll throw out there, Demolition, Get a tag team in. They're back in the good graces. They just had action figures made. For the longest time,
Walking
they were
disaster.
exactly. At least put the theme song in, if nothing
Oh,
else.
yeah.
But we joke and make fun of the celebrity wing, but Cyndi Lauper not being in the WWE Hall of Fame, when you look at what she did and around that WrestleMania 1 Rock and Wrestling era, she's not in it. But look at some of the people that are in it, and clearly there's no rhyme or reason. So if we have to throw a celebrity, let's grab Cyndi Lauper. Those are a couple names I'd like to see in there this year.
Yeah.
And I definitely echo that Regal. That Regal's a really good pull. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd put in the guy that sang DX's song. Probably.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah, or whatever that band name was. So break it down. Like everybody heard that one. All right, boys. Topic number 3, my favorite time of the year for AEW. We're going to talk about AEW here shortly too. But the Continental Classic is back, and I love it. It's like the holiday tournament right now. Semifinals and finals looks like it's going to happen at World's End in the same night. So what I want to ask you guys is, just as a wrestling fan in general, wrestling tournaments like King of the Ring, Continental Classic, inside of usually they're storyline based to make a feud happen or makes or get somebody over, that kind of stuff. Are you guys fans of tournaments?
Yes. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And I'm actually less of a fan for a story to be involved. I like them to be randomized and for it to actually feel like a tournament. What I mean? Like to be like, oh shit, like even this past Monday, last Monday, when was it Monday? Anyway, that's beside the point. When Gunther beat LA Knight, you still was, at that point I was still like, man, what the LA Knight? I mean, I know Gunther, they're gonna, sorry, I had to check the room. If WWE has a boner for Gunther, but obviously
they're not the only one.
The fans have one for LA Knight as well.
Yeah.
And it's time for him to get his rise. So I was like, okay, is this time? Could he be, it was still up in the air.
Yeah.
No, I do like tournaments. I was a big fan of King of Ring back in the day.
Yeah. Since we're measuring boners, mine's bigger for LA Knight right now than Gunther, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, me too.
Because we'll dive into it just a little bit. Explain to me, what's the attraction of Gunther?
He's a bruiser, brawler, straight old school throwback. That's just a hard hitter, and that's what people seem to like about. I don't know.
Yeah. What's the attraction?
Do we want to get into it now, or do we want to wait till the Cena part? Just tell me when to go. I love him for basically, what Primo said. He's the old school, very stoic. It's not, like the Braun Strowman monster out here over the top being goofy. He is just all business. Can beat you at any given time, whether it's a sleeper or a power bomb or a big boot or whatever. Right. And he's like the no fun wrestler. Like, okay, y'all like eating with Jey Uso. It's all Jey Uso's time. Nope, Gunther beats him. Oh, it's Sami Zayn. Here comes Sami Zayn. He's gonna, accomplish his dream. Nope. Chad Gable's kid's in the front row. Gable's gonna win the IC title. Nope. Kid's crying. It's just like an old school throwback heel. I mean, he retired Bill Gold, like the way he just said Bill Goldberg. Like, if you don't like anything else, just the fact that he emasculated Bill Goldberg. Like,
I do like that.
Pretty fun.
They retired Goldberg.
Yeah.
And now he's like this, so you're gonna retire? Like, okay, Gunther's here to end your career. Like, AJ Styles better watch out. Goldberg said he's coming back to retire. Retired Goldberg.
He's collecting
Cena's last run. He's gonna retire Cena. AJ is talking about he's gonna wrap up in 2026. Like, if I'm AJ Styles, I'm staying away from Gunther if I want to keep my career going. Yeah. But
I could see it. Yeah. I mean, I get the appeal. Sure. I mean, I like DB. I also am higher on LA Knight, and we this podcast has historically loved LA Knight.
Sure. I like
But
Eli
also-
Drake too, baby.
Or Eli
Eli
Drake.
Drake. Yeah.
Dummy.
Me and my brother were actually
Dummy.
talking yesterday about Gunther. We said he would make a great Bond villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. And I'm not
Um,
discrediting LA Knight on any of that.
No,
not
no.
putting up Gunther to put him down, but I'm a big Gunther guy over here.
Right.
But
Well, let's
talking
go
about
ahead-
tournaments,
Oh, go ahead.
can I mention that real quick? Yeah, I do love the tournaments. I know it's pro wrestling, it's scripted, I get all of that, but the closer you can keep your tournament to like a pro sports based like presentation of it,
Mhm.
I love it even better then. Like they do a good job in the G1 of being like, just throw out a name like, Tanahashi, he's been averaging this match length during the G1 and his opponent's only been going, 5 minutes shorter, so this guy should be fresher. And last match, Zack Sabre Jr. is really working over this guy's arm. See how that
Yeah.
follows him throughout the tournament. And either like a one night deal, like throw back the old King of the Ring or like WrestleMania 4. I really like that, but I get it's hard to like sell a whole show on, these 8 guys wrestling in a tournament. So like the Continental Classic, the round robin, stretch it out over a month or two, get some storyline. Like Primo was saying, like don't make it just like an obvious story, but have that storyline playing throughout the tournament.
Sure.
Yeah, I like it. I love it. Give me more of them.
Another
Yeah.
one I used to like back in the day, and I mean, I think they still do it, or maybe not. I don't know. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know. But the Bound for Glory tournament where they collected points over time,
Right.
that was fun.
Yeah.
Right. My favorite, the Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup, the tag team from
Yeah.
back in the day. But just because I'm that old. Let's move on though. Quick question here before we move on to Cena Gunther. I want to ask you about low-key legend Natty, her new little gimmick she's got going on. And it looks like she's like badass / like trainer kind of. She's pulling, this warrior whatever out of
Heart Dungeon,
what's her name?
Maxine.
Maxine.
There you go. Thank you. Maxine. So my question to you guys is, you think it'll work?
Yeah. I've been actually wanting this since she first appeared on Bloodsport. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, why is she the low-key legend over here, and then she shows up on WWE TV as just regular Natalia?
Right.
So I'm glad that's finally translating over.
Right.
Yeah, like she's been in WWE for what, like 18, 20 years, something like that. Like doing like basically the same gimmick, tweaks here and there, of course,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
same basic thing. So yeah, to throw or I cannot talk tonight. I'm sorry, guys. To get this whole new like side to it, like you were saying, the badass in the dungeon, and you got the whole Hart family history. You can tell that of the original dungeon and Stu. A little concerned that they might be moving too fast, like this week, like a week ago on Raw. We saw Natty taking it to Maxine, one more time or more
Right.
again. I think it was again was the word.
Yeah.
And then like this week, Maxine's like tapping out everybody and even tapping out Natty, and it's like
She learns quick.
a week in the dungeon, and you
Yes, Sensei.
move to that fast. Like forget the performance center, get everybody in Natty's dungeon if that's how quickly they're progressing.
Right.
But yeah, there's whether it's Natty, like mentoring Maxine or eventually turning on Maxine or however. I think there's a lot of story they can do there, and just change it up for Natty. Give her something else. Like give her a good run. I'd be for it.
Yeah. All right. Final topic, boys. Let's get to it, man. So, in case you've been living under a rock, there's a guy named John Cena that's about to have his final match this Saturday night in Washington, D.C. On Peacock. And, so they did this last time It's Now tournament. Okay. So, let's pick back up where we left off. What I want to ask you guys is, okay, so, like, I love Gunther too. Like, I get it. Like, I get why people like him. I get why people, love him. Purists love him. Like I understand all that completely. What I don't understand is he's already a made man to me. You know what I mean? He's already
Two-time champ, heavyweight champ.
Yeah. And I just kind of like on an exception of like maybe just wanting to see this match. You know what I mean? Like I feel like nobody's really going to get made here. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
and my and any chance Cena goes over?
No.
None.
I never from the beginning of the tournament. I never thought whoever won. Said this a while back. Whoever wins the tournament is going to beat Cena. I mean, he's going to do the job on the way out.
Sure.
I'd say there's like a 1% chance, like it is wrestling in WWE.
Sure,
I don't want to, completely roll it out and be like, absolutely no way. But just given, like, take the Gunther part out of it, just look at Cena and his respect for the business and how long he's been in it. I don't see him going over on his way out.
Right. Like, I'm excited to see this match. Like, I'm excited to see this match, but like, like, I don't know, like, let's just say LA beat Gunther, off some bullshit shenanigans or something, like, you know what I mean?
Or straight up
and got in. Yeah. Or straight up, and got in somehow, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like LA would come out of this looking way better than Gunther would, like everybody's just expecting the Gunther to go in there and do his thing. You know what I mean? He's like he's like the local enforcer, like, like you said, the career ender, that kind of stuff. Like, I love all that. And like I said, I'm not mad at it. I just want to ask why, for the sake of asking why, like, why not somebody else? But why Gunther though, Dylan?
So, like, my opinion, yes, he's been the champ, like longest reigning IC champ, 2 reigns with the world title, but he's still not on that, like, upper level. He's still not on that, like, Cena or Cody or Roman. Like, everybody knows him, face of the company. Even if you don't watch wrestling, you've at least heard of this Gunther guy. Like, he's not on that level yet. And I'm not saying this win gets him there, like, no doubt, absolute.
Right.
But I think at least gets him in that
it probably does
direction. Right. And I think his floor is higher than most of the other people's. Like, let's say this doesn't work out for whatever reason. Either the match just sucks for, who knows why, or the rub he gets off this isn't what people think it will be. He still has that 2 world titles and the IC title to fall back on. If you grab like an LA Knight or like a Carmelo Hayes, what's a name I saw a bunch of people talking about, somebody that still has like way more ceiling they can reach. Okay, like, if everything goes perfect, yeah, maybe they retire Cena and get vaulted into this top spot. Sure. But we really haven't seen it yet. So, like, there's more of a risk of, like, okay, they beat Cena, and now 6 months from now we have nothing for Carmelo Hayes, and we wasted Cena's retirement on this guy we might cut. You know what I mean?
Right. Sure.
Just my opinion.
Yeah.
And like you did say, DB, like, if you take all that out and just the match itself, like, Cena versus Gunther was one of the matches, like, highest on my list when Cena was announcing this year was going to be his last.
Yeah.
Like, we got to have the Cena Gunther match in there somewhere.
And so you get heel versus face here too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
LA would have been face to face. You know what I mean? So I get that part too. And you're right. And they know, 50 billion people are going to be watching this.
Right.
And going out of it, no matter what, everybody's going to know who Gunther is. You know what I mean? Now,
Yeah.
But like I said, they're going to have to probably keep going with him to get him on that Roman, Cody, Punk, Rollins level right now. You know what I mean? So, I'm not going to hate it. Like, I'm really interested to see how they're going to make this thing play out. Like, how do you book Cena's last match? That's pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just eats a pen and then that's it. Nathan walks out.
He does. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm assuming, I assume you guys would be with me on this, but maybe not. Like, we get like the whole like goodbye and everything, right? Like, it's not like
I hope so.
Cena taps out and we go off the air. Like, we get the finish. Gunther goes up the ramp, and we'll get like, the standing ovation, maybe a speech, maybe not. Who knows?
Maybe
but at least leave the wristbands in the ring or something like that from Cena. I hope we do get a good, and it's not on regular NBC. It's just on Peacock, so we don't have to worry about the time restraint,
the time slot.
Hey, we're at the top of the hour.
Yeah,
cut off his interview. So it'll be fun. I'm excited
I've
for
heard
it.
conflicting reports too about whether this is the main event or whether this is the opener.
Oh, it's got to be main. I would think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen if you Google that if it's the opener, there's lots of reports that say that it's rumored. Other reports are like, well, we would rather have like Cody and Oba open.
Yeah, and I feel like too, like the ratings drop would be huge after he's done.
Yeah, because that's what everybody's going to watch for.
Yeah,
And who's going to follow that? You know,
Right.
like
yeah. Let's send out
no disrespect
Ruka
to
and
any of
Bailey
them
out there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, stick around and see the Soul Snatcher, or
right.
move on to whatever
Yeah,
else. We just saw Cena retire.
That was a cool finisher, though.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah,
I might stick.
All right,
is.
boys. Well, Saturday night, man. It's all over after that. I actually believe him. You know that.
Yeah,
this
I do
is
too.
it. So,
Well,
yeah, it's gonna be
hold
fun.
on.
It's like Super Bowl event, kind of. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it kind of feels like that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen multiple reports too that he says that after the match is over, he signed a 5-year ambassador deal.
Yeah. I did see that too. Yeah, obviously, right? Like,
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
all right, boys, let's move on, man. It's drop kick discussion time. We're going to talk a little AEW in 2025. But before we do, how about a word from the referee himself, Mr. Dan Perch?
This is referee Dan Perch, and come celebrate pro wrestling right here on the Sit Down Marks podcast.
All right, so what we want to kind of do is, AEW is known as the secondary company, the WCW to WWE of this era, if you will, the company backed by the most money outside of TKO, if you will, on that too. If you will. I feel like they took a lot of lumps when they started out in whatever year it was, 2019.
Yeah,
I think, yeah. You know what I mean? And I really feel like maybe an exception to last year. I really enjoyed AEW this year. Last year before that, not so much. I feel like it kind of regressed a little bit. But I felt like they kind of, this is personal opinion, but I felt like this year they really kind of got back on track, so to speak. Hence the train on the track on the graphic. Ding ding. Anyway. But and I felt like that was due to the stars that they had on top. But for me, I'll always lean towards storylines. You can get me hooked in a good storyline, making me watch the wrestling. I can look up against maybe that's not my favorite wrestler, or that kind of stuff, but they would get me still involved in it. So what we want to do is we wanted to talk about AEW this year. Did they really did they improve, did they do better? So let's just talk about some facts first before we kind of jump into some stats. So where can we watch AEW? Well, it's TBS now, TNT. I think Collision's on TNT. TBS is Dynamite. HBO Max. If you don't have any kind of cable, Amazon Prime, you can catch the pay-per-views on, in addition to HBO Max or whatever. And then so it's fairly easy to watch them. You know what I mean? And in exception of like WWE, where you got to jump around all kind of platforms. Hence,
they're NBA Finals.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true. So I think in that aspect, it is a little bit easier to get a hold or to watch the product if you want to watch it. So on that note, let's talk about their champs this year so far. Now, I'm gonna just run down some, and then we'll come back and run down to it. So, the 2025 champions, heavyweight champions, Moxley, Page, and Joe. So this year they just had 3. Moxley was in that big storyline where we didn't even see the title until he lost it,
right.
To Page, because he had in there the women's champions. Mariah May started out at the beginning of the year. Toni Storm took it from her. And then Chris Statlander, who's your current. So again, only 3 women's champions. TNT champions, they had a few more. To start out the year, the champion was Daniel Garcia. And then right after that was a guy that we kind of forgotten about, Adam Cole, baby. So he was on there. Yeah, I got to use that one in a while. Heck yeah. And then the quick change for Dustin Rhodes, which was to get the title to Kyle Fletcher, and then now Mark Briscoe. So that one changed a little bit more. It's kind of like their mid card title. On the women's side, the TBS champion, there's only been one all year long.
Yeah.
Mercedes Moné. Tag teams, though, at the beginning of the year, Private Party was the champ. Hurt Syndicate after that. Brodito, which I think ended up going way more successful than they ever thought it would be. Like, everybody kind of got behind that tag team. And then now FTR. I didn't really look in too much about the trios because I just don't feel like they add anything, or what I mean, they're no needle movers. Nobody's watching nobody's watching I don't think so anyway. Nobody's watching Dynamite because the trio champions are defending the titles on there, but so Dynamite's the A show, Collision's the B show. Pay-per-views aren't as prominent. They don't have them every month. Seems like every second to third, seems like it's picked up, right? Big signings this year. I couldn't find anybody that was a big signing from another, other than Okada, maybe. You know what I mean? But always they didn't land a big free agent. Do you guys recall of any?
No, I recall them getting rid of a bunch.
Yeah, that's a good point, really. Not something I even thought about when I was listing out my notes here. For several years, that was their big move, right? We just signed this guy, and now he's our top guy until we put him in, 15 different matches in a 3-week period, and now we have nothing for him. I know we're not getting deep into the discussion yet, but this year they've done a better job of building their own guys and elevating their own guys that they already had, instead of being focused on bringing in every new top guy, or maybe they already signed all the top guys. Who's to say? But I guess they did try signing Andrade, and
they
didn't really go as planned. I guess maybe, but
right. And I think they did a pretty good job of distributing people over to Ring of Honor, which is kind of subsidiary now, their smaller company or whatever. But so let me run down a few stories that kind of went through, and some points that I kind of thought made what they did, and I'm gonna let you guys go. So I think probably, to me, the biggest thing that I think kept me involved was, me personally, Tony Storm's character, the feuds with Mariah May, Chris, Mercedes, just the whole movie thing. I love the black and white skit. Believe it or not, Primo knows, anybody listen to the podcast know, I'm not a Moxley guy, but looking back now at that January, little, run with his as champ in early 2025, when we didn't, see the belt, like I said, until Hangman won it. Yeah, the Mox versus Page. I love that storyline now. You know what I mean? I came around a little more on Moxley's, new gimmick and moniker, and I'm totally gonna dig this little fallout between him and Claudio. That's kind of gonna happen. But I thought that was awesome. Moxley just still remains the core of AEW, kind of. You know what I mean? He's still he's the fallback guy. He's not always the biggest guy, but always in there. You know what I mean? We talked about Brodito. I think that was good to have that little tag team run with them. Okada being here with the Callis family, I thought that was awesome. I thought that, helped on the heel side. A fun storyline. I kind of thought that, kind of reeled some people back in on a comedic perspective, was the whole Young Bucks, being out as the, what I mean, as the CEOs or whatever.
I did like that a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, them being kayfabe kicked out of the front office, all the little things they did with that, the shitty pyro, they called them random names, that's fun. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
We had some decent returns, Jack Perry, some people, but I think he gave him a little shot in the arm though. Yeah, with Luchasaurus. Eddie Kingston's back. I love that. I'm, tuning in more now when he's got a microphone. We just talked about the Continental Classic. I think that's, it's like their big tournament of the year. You can kind of see future forward who's going to be wrestling each other. So you kind of like look forward and, kind of seek out those matches, you're looking at them, you're like, oh, these guys going to be wrestling, on down the line or whatever. So I like that. Darby still like the underground star, like, dude still gets a big pop, not like Omega. Omega's still the franchise to me, honestly. Like, I think Heyman's the guy right now, but like, I just feel like no matter what, it's still gonna always be Kenny. Just because I feel like the fans feel that way and kind of they feel that way too. And low key, I'll say this, I'm gonna hand over you, Dylan. I love the Jeff Jarrett MJF feud. I thought it was, I didn't love it. I thought it was great though. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like catch me by surprise. Damn it. I'm really interested in what Double J's doing here. You know what I mean? So this was good. But and believe it or not, Ricochet Swerve was pretty good too. Like, in the long run, first I'm like, but how'd you feel about AEW in 2025, Dylan?
So I want to piggyback on that Jeff Jarrett one real quick, because I didn't think anybody else would mention that. It seems like the whole world has forgot that happened, because like Jarrett came out and was like, I want to win the title one time before I retire or something along those lines. And I don't know if he got hurt or, what the deal was, but the whole story just kind of got dropped and we haven't seen him in the ring in a while. But a couple of things I'll throw out. I guess you'd call it, it's not like storylines, but like story looking back at the whole year, which, sidebar, maybe I'm not the only one, but you realize how long the year is when you go back and like look at stuff that was happening in like January and February, and it's like, now it's December and it's like, wait, that was this year? Like, really? Like the Mariah May, Tony Storm. I was like, that was finishing up this year. But a couple like just big picture things. It seems like there was a lot of talent had a lot of time off. Maybe that's injury related. Maybe that's, personal reasons or what have you. But like Orange Cassidy missed a big chunk of the year. We got him back now. Eddie Kingston was injured. He's back now. Jericho's been out for quite a while. Who knows if he's coming back or if he's going someplace else. We've had, Ospreay out since the summer. Swerve missed some time. Darby missed time to go climb the mountain. They got Kyle O'Reilly hot. Now he's gone. They got Adam Cole hot, and he had to leave because of injury. So it's like a bunch of like start and stops and a bunch of their big names missing time. But then again, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about. It's like also a positive for them that they can still keep the momentum and like build with the people they do have here. Really, for me, like to break it in half, the story of the first half of the year, like Ospreay was the guy, not in the title, but putting on the best matches constantly, like one of the big focuses. And then the second half, really, since Ospreay left with his injury, like I feel like it's turned into the Kyle Fletcher show. Like here again, he's not the champ, but he had the match with Hangman, been in the Don Callis family, controlling that TNT title. Like he's really stepped up this year. I had the Death Riders down because obviously you have to mention it. For me, it's really like you can't kill them, even though they probably should be dead. Like,
right.
There for a while, there was a bunch of people we thought might beat Mox. He had Cope challenge him, and Cope didn't win. He defended against Swerve, and everybody was fully behind Swerve, and Mox won. And so it became like, oh, are we just waiting for Darby or what? And then Hangman gets hot, and Hangman wins the title. And I'll come back to that in just a second. But you think like Hangman wins the title, maybe this is how the Death Riders just banned or they leave TV at least. And nope, they're there in a 6-man the very next Wednesday night. And then, they lose that big cage match they had in the UK, and same thing. Okay, maybe they're done, and they're right back on TV that same week. Mox loses to Darby, and they're right back on TV, even though they're setting each other on fire. They're right back on TV. But at least now at the end of the year, like DB kind of mentioned, maybe it's Mox and Claudio. Looks like we are seeing a little bit of that rift. Maybe we start to see them corrupt or bust here and go after each other. And the Hangman, to me, that might be the height of the year, but then it just dropped off. He had such a good build, beating Ospreay in the Owen to get the title shot, beating Mox, and that was, the what they call it, the Avengers in-game finish. Everybody shows up on both sides. You got Death Riders interfering. You got Ospreay and Bryan and Swerve coming out to even the odds. But they didn't know what to do after that. It's just, here's a month-long feud with MJF. Here's a month-long feud with Kyle Fletcher. They didn't really. I feel like they could have built more on Hangman on that. And just a couple of small notes throughout the year. We got Mox and not Mox. I'm sorry. We got Cope and Christian back.
Right.
That was pretty cool.
Yes. Yep.
First kind of around the title, and then actually teaming up to Will They Won't They, and then they win the match with FTR and leave TV. And now that FTR has the belts, I'm hoping maybe there's something coming back with Cope and Christian on that front. DB mentioned Tony and Mariah. That was excellent. Let me scroll down here real quick. Death Riders. The Don Callis family is another one that's plus and minus. I'm not doing the 6-7. The plus and minus. I like the Okada, Takeshita. Are they feuding? Are they friends? Is Fletcher stuck in the middle? But they also have that NWO syndrome of there's 27 guys in the faction now, and I have no idea who's full-time Don Callis family, who's just jumping in to help. It's Josh Alexander and Lance Archer, and I don't even know all of them. It's if they could just focus on the top 3, I think they would be better for them there.
6 or 7.
Instead of 6 or 7. Yes. Thank you, Primo. Just finish up real quick. A couple matches I threw out because, it is where the best wrestle, or so they say. Ospreay and Fletcher had that cage match back at the beginning of the year at Revolution pay-per-view. Ospreay did that Spanish fly off the top of the cage. Everybody was talking about the Ospreay Hangman Owen final was insane. That leads to the Hangman Mox title match that I thought was awesome. Omega and Okada. We got Omega and Okada again. We hadn't even mentioned that, either one of us. We got the feud everybody had been waiting on. We got it back, had them in the same ring. Tony and Mercedes, Tony and Chris. You could really just go through a list, just name a ton of great matches from AEW this year. That's kind of what I had in my notes. A lot of good, some stuff I didn't love, but you're going to get that over 52 weeks of two TV shows a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say they had a pretty good year.
Yeah. I definitely think they improved. I hope the momentum kind of sticks. I still think, they need that one big, huge star. You know what I mean? To get everybody tuning in not just to, but just to get the ball rolling, get more people knowing about them. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So, Primo, you got any thoughts on AEW this year?
Yeah. I didn't want to start off with negative, but I am going to. I'm going to say Ricky Starks, Malachi Black, Miro, Ray Phoenix, and Mariah May all crossed the line this year. Ricky Starks has already been champion WWE.
Mariah.
Yeah, Mariah. So that was they they lost him from AEW. They went over there. We mentioned a lot of times the 6-hour pay-per-views.
Yeah, that's a big negative.
Yeah.
Right. Other than that, you mentioned the Young Bucks. That gimmick was very fun. I really enjoyed it. It was one of those things where it's you want to tune in next time to see how much more their entrance or whatever is going to be affected. Also, we've all mentioned Hangman Mox.
Right.
Hangman opening the briefcase and us finally seeing the title again was like a big moment this year.
Yeah.
A big moment for me. Dylan mentioned it. You know, the kid in me was happy for a little bit when Edge and Christian, Cope and fucking Christian Cage, got back together for a little bit, and then a couple things. I'm not sure if we mentioned yet. I think we did, but we have the new national championship. The Continental and International was unified to make the unified championship. They're having the women's world the women's world tag team championship, that tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of belts.
So yeah, they got a shitload of belts.
Yeah. Remember when we used to say, man, that's a big roster. Now we're saying, man, it's a lot of belts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they created a couple titles. I mean, you guys mentioned all of the storylines. They had good storylines. There was times where during this year where it was ebbs and flows with me, where I'd watch and I'd want to tune in, and then and I'd forget to tune in because it would fall off for me for a little bit. Versus like Monday Night Raw, I make sure I do my best to watch that live every single Monday.
Right.
But no, I mean, it was cool. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. Another big moment for me, which is smaller for everyone else, but Dustin Rhodes winning in Texas.
Yeah.
The natural.
That was cool.
That was cool.
That was really cool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's all I got.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think in agreement we are that they definitely turned it up a little bit, and just hope that the trend continues. All right, that's going to do it for the Dropkick discussion of the week, boys. It's time to go home, man. But Primo, first, brother, let's hear from Missa Kate.
What up, Missa Kate, Chicago sweetheart, also known as The Shit Show. You're here with me, and we're sitting with Mark's podcast.
All right, I want to remind everybody to follow at Sit Down Marks on all social media, and head on over to sitdownmarks.com and subscribe while you're there. I want to also remind you, too, that Dreamwave Prelude, our YouTube series showcasing the stars of tomorrow in Dreamwave Wrestling, volumes 1 through 4 is available now. Go over to sitdownmarks.com, get caught up because a brand new episode is dropping very, very soon. Hang tight because we got matches from Good as Gold weekend, so it's going to be some real big shows coming up here. So speaking of shows, Dylan, you hitting the road any this weekend, brother? What you got in your preview? Where you headed?
Yeah, I'll be staying home this weekend. It's Christmas time, family stuff going on, but a couple of shows in the preview. We'll start Friday night. Speaking of Missa Kate, career versus career match. Missa Kate versus Steve Boz at CSW in Cold Blood this weekend. You also got Quintero challenging Marche Rocket for their world title. Maggie Lee, Heather Reckless, and Haven Harris all challenging Lily La Pasquerita for the women's title. Shazza McKenzie versus Warhorse in a no DQ match, ending their feud that's been going on all year. That is Friday night at CSW. Jumping into Saturday, several big shows. Revolver has their season finale. 4-way match for the world title main event. Myron Reed, Steve Macklin, Jake Christ, and Rich Swann. There's also a tag title match between Latinos Most Wanted and the Rascals. And the Rascals Primo, that's going to be Wentz and Dez there for the Rascals. So that'll be fun. Get that combination back together. First time in a while, at least on the indies. Freelance in Chicago, Devon Monroe defending the world title against Brian Keith. Bounty Hunters back in town. Also got the Best Bros from Japan taking on Shazza and Reagan Lydell. Jumping to a GCW, all you deathmatch people. It's Nick Gage Invitational Weekend, big deathmatch tournament. 4 first-round matches. It's going to get wild. Bear Bronson, which shout out Bear Bronson, by the way, making that TNA debut. Bear Bronson and Slade in the first round. Drew Parker and Jack Harrop. The Bev taking on Otis Kogar, and Mr. Danger taking on Little Sicko. And of course, we'll have the semifinals and finals all that same night. And then wrapping it up Sunday, Jersey Championship Wrestling. These guys just go wild. These cards are always stacked. The main event is a JCW title match with the winner qualifying for next year's J Cup, and it's an I Quit match. It's Billy Starks defending against Charles Mason. They're doing, I forget exactly what they're calling it, but it's a 6-person match that's 3 falls. So there'll be 3 different people win a fall. Each will qualify for the J Cup next year. It's Gary J, Warhorse, Jay Lucas, Griffin McCoy, Oni King, Drew Parker, Manny Lowe, and one of my favorite names in wrestling, Teriyaki. Said 3 winners coming from that. Teriyaki, incredible talent too. Like, yeah, the name's awesome, but the dude rules. We got Darian Bankston versus Eli Knight. That'll be really fun. A lot of good stuff on that one. That's all in the preview. Find it on my Twitter at DHagerJ15. Whenever I get it posted, it'll be pinned to the top of the page there.
Man, we had 2 fucking big, huge shows of Dreamwave this past weekend, man. 2 brand new briefcase winners. Spoiler alert coming up, so fast forward or whatever you want to do. But so this past weekend, man, probably, a woman that's just been dominating in Uprising since she's been there, and she's had a lot of success in Dreamwave. Megan Bain won the briefcase on the Uprising women's side, so now she can cash that. She's got a whole year to cash that one in. And then coming up big on a Saturday night, man, a big card. It's both shows are on independentwrestling.tv right now. Go check them out. Dreamwave Wrestling, Good as Gold, Uprising 7. Winning the briefcase on the men's side, Bobby Orlando, the GOAT. Bobby is your mom. Excited for him, man. He was outnumbered, man, but old Sydney and Channing evened up the odds, and it just turned out to be an awesome night. But let's talk about or just quickly, Dylan, anything that must see matches from the weekend anybody can look up.
Yeah, just quickly on that same note, what you just mentioned, like I meant to mention Megan Bain in our AEW preview, and I just read right past it. Like, she's even had a breakout year for AEW.
Right.
The fact we even still see her on the indies is insane. And now she's got the Good as Gold. Like, DB, just imagine for a second being Becca. You got all your world tour pop star stuff going on, but you can't sleep at night knowing Megan Bain has a contract. She can cash in at any time. Maybe it's a good thing she's got that security.
Right.
But just matches wise, I was really impressed on Uprising. 2 of the debuts, Notorious Mimi and Amina Belmont. I thought they tore it down. And Rachel Lee and Lainey Luck tore it down. First ever WWE Women's ID title defense past Friday night at Uprising. Lainey Luck, Rachel Lee tore it down. And then we just, mentioned Uprising. One guy we got familiar with on the not Uprising, on Prelude. That's what we call our show. One of the guys we got familiar with on Prelude, A and B, that tag match on Saturday night, tag titles. I thought A and B and Quintero looked incredible,
Man,
but it was the hype coming out. New tag champs once again. Hype was victorious over Bang & Matthews, the Hate Keepers, and Quintero and A and B. Really good tag match, Megan Bain and RJS versus the collab, Shaza and Laney. I thought they tore it down. And that first blood match for the title, Connor and Shannon, and they just went to war. That was personal. Went to war for the title, and Shannon came out still holding that gold.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So, and then all that leads now, we're on our way to Anniversary, which is our biggest show of the year at Dreamwave in April. And our very last stop is February the 7th at the KC Club in LaSalle, Illinois. If you're watching right now on YouTube and Facebook, I got the poster up there. It's going to be a 4-way, The Curse, Connor, Stephen Wolf, Amina Belmont, and Damien versus Brittany Brooks, Bobby Orlando, Hartenbauer, and Channing Thomas. A lot of implications in this match. Chris Masters, the masterpiece, is on the poster. Teal Piper's on the poster. If you don't know that name, she is the daughter of Rowdy Roddy Piper. So she's going to be at Dreamwave February the 7th. Tickets on sale right now. DreamWaveWrestling.com, DWTIX.net. Either one works just as good. Make sure you come and get ready to watch a show with us and then you're going to want to buy tickets for anniversary, April the 11th, our biggest show of the year, man. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. By the way, here's a picture of Laney in their very first title defense there with the WWID belt
Right on.
in beautiful LaSalle. So, all right, boys. Want to remind everybody to check out our most popular interview of the year 2025 was with Bruce Hamilton. We dropped it right back before Thanksgiving, so go back and check that out if you haven't listened to it yet. Primo's got an Etsy store that's now an eBay store too. Primo, what's it called again?
It's Darkfire 3D, but I'm on vacation until next month. So if you try to buy something, you're out of luck, pal.
Yeah, we're going to be a little slow around here at Sit Down Marks Podcast, but we're going to take care of you. I'm about to tell you. So what's coming up on the Sit Down Marks Podcast? Well, for December. All right, so next week we got a brand new episode of Dreamwave Prelude is going to drop for you. And then the week of Christmas, I'm going to be dropping a brand new DB's Territory Treasures, where I'm going to be talking about Surfer Sting, and I'm going to have a guest on the podcast that you might have heard of before. You might have heard his voice before.
Who is
he tend to wear a hat that's green, sometimes. So so he might be a guest on the pod. So make sure you Christmas week you come in and check that one out. And to finish out the year, coming back at you, Dylan and I are going to finish out the year with you. A podcast dedicated to John Cena as we say farewell to John Cena and head on into 2026. Just going to be talking about John Cena memories, what we remember the most about him, any particular matches, his 5 moves of doom. We'll talk about those, and all the way to the 5-knuckle shuckle. 5-knuckle shuckle. Sounds like something you do to an oyster. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for downloading and subscribing and supporting us this year. We appreciate it. As you heard Primo talk about at the beginning of the podcast, 2026, the podcast is about to turn 5 years old, and we couldn't have done it without your downloads and subscriptions, and appreciate the support. So we'll be talking about that later. So we'll get you out of here on this, boys. One last time, let's Smelly Market, man. 1 to 10, Smelly Market. How do you think John Cena's retirement tour has gone, Primo?
Oh man, it's had a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and just honestly, I'll be fair. 8.5.
Okay, Dylan, where you at?
I'm gonna go 7. The back half of it's been like a 10, but there was some down periods there, and kind of in the middle. So
yeah,
I'll go finishing strong with a 7.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 8. I would probably give it 8.59. But man, that heel turn that they attempted was fucking bad. It was awful. You know what I mean? That just
the turn itself rolled, but the follow up,
follow up now. But like John's like just wasn't good at it. So at least he admitted it. They corrected it instead of just riding it out. They could have just.
And I think it kind of fell apart.
So. Right. Yeah.
Thanks to
All right.
Wayne.
Yeah. All right, keep spreading the good word of wrestling. If you're new to the podcast and watching right now on YouTube and Facebook, hang out. We're going to show Dylan a poster and see if he can tell us the matches from an old pay-per-view. But remember,
he's 2 women.
Yeah. Keep spreading the good word of wrestling, people. We'll see you guys here pretty soon. I am DB for Primo and Dylan. We are the Sit Down Marks Podcast.
Happy holidays.
Catch you guys next time. All right, let me go find it.
So your shirt says 2 women. Who's it from?
That's a great question. Terrible gift, whoever sent it. Terrible gift by whoever sent it.
All right, Dylan, you ready?
I'm ready.
And a 3, and a 2, and 1.
Give it a second. Okay. This is No Mercy 2007. there are 3 WWE title matches. Triple H beats Orton and then retains against Umaga and then loses to Orton. I believe Last Man Standing is the last one in the main event.
Yeah.
Is that Batista and Kali?
Punjabi prison, baby.
Prison.
You know
Yep. Okay. Okay. I'm really slowing down after those, though. Which I mean, the Triple H matches take up half the show.
I mean, I didn't have
Cena's
to
hurt.
didn't write too much down. Yeah, he tore his pec on
Yeah,
Raw.
yeah, that's
Right.
why it's vacant.
There was one more match that I even wrote down for this.
07.
Who did CM Punk wrestle?
That is actually what I was just on. It's Elijah Burke, the Pope.
Yeah, Big Daddy V.
Big Daddy V. I'm off a month. Okay, I'm off a month.
The Pope.
Yeah, it'll probably like start popping in my head as soon as we get done. But Taker, no, that's a year later too. Taker, Mark Henry's next year.
Randy
The
didn't
3
have
Triple
that
H
many-
matches and the Cena or the Batista Kali is what really stands out.
Yeah. Cena, I mean, Orton didn't even really have that many tattoos here.
Yeah, old school Orton.
Look at this. Nate, by the way, thank you for hanging out, brother. Appreciate it. Look right here. It
Shout out,
says,
Nate.
Let's fucking go, Dylan. Come on now. You know your fucking encyclopedia. Damn.
Yeah,
All right.
does me no good, but yeah.
We'll try to stump the swab again next time.